Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. The prairie sunrise is as beautiful as ever, but the prairie has changed. What would this land become? 100 years from now, or 1,000 years from now? I am sure the sunrise will be the same. Will us humans be the same? I surely enjoy my walk every morning as I'm closing in on my 72nd birthday. I definitely need the exercise. I cooked this dish last night. A part of it I used for dinner for my wife and I. The other part, which shown here, I'm going to bring it to my friend's house, Brian, to celebrate his 76th birthday with him. Actually, there are 3 dishes in one. At the bottom is a fried rice, which is a zucchini fried rice. And on top of it are shrimps. They are blackened shrimps. And then I have a vegetable medley next to them. I cooked enough of it so my wife and I could have for dinner last night. And the rest, I set them aside. Brian and I will have them for lunch. And it took me about 20 minutes to cook this meal. And I baked this blueberry walnut cake for dessert. I won't tell him, but actually I have never baked this cake before. So I am not sure exactly what it's going to taste like, but I think it will turn out good. And because I have extended template-based cooking to my baking as well. In today's video, I would like to show you how I make a zucchini fried rice. I have so many zucchinis, I just need to figure a way to use them. Because my friend Brad gave me a bunch of zucchini from his garden. And my wife also has some zucchini from her garden as well. And making the zucchini fried rice is extremely simple. It just follows the basic fried rice template. And in this video, I'm going to show you how I make modifications so that the zucchini will work in this fried rice. I have made zucchini fried rice before, but I use the zucchini mainly as a minor ingredient. In this fried rice, I'm going to use the zucchini as the main ingredients because I have a lot of them that I would like to use up. And when I have zucchinis on hand, I always prep them in advance. I cut them into about bite size. I store them in plastic containers. They usually have a shelf life up to about 10 days. I need to cut them up smaller when I want to use them in a fried rice. This is quite labor intensive until I discover the Zealous handheld food processor. This makes chopping up the zucchini much easier. It only takes a few seconds. I divided the zucchini into 2 batches because I have quite a bit. Most of the time, I dislike a kitchen gadget. I feel that a pair of a knife will allow me to do almost anything I want. But since I have been using this handheld food processor for about a month, I find it almost indispensable. It definitely makes a chore like this in chopping up the zucchini much easier. I did a review on this handheld food processor, and you can take a look. In addition to chopping up the zucchinis, I use it to chop up many other food ingredients such as ginger or different types of nuts. For example, I use this to chop up the walnut in making a cake. For the fried rice, I would like to add some carrot. I also have some carrot prep in advance. And for the fried rice, I usually grate the carrot, but that is more labor intensive. And so I use the handheld food processor. Again, it takes a matter of seconds. And I have the results I want. I'm going to cook this fried rice in my Ken Hong 14-inch carbon steel wok. I'm going to start out with 2 tablespoons of canola oil. This is an excellent wok, and it's constructed with a heavy gauge carbon steel. However, it's a little bit too heavy for me. I have not used this wok for a while, and when I first took the wok out of the cupboard, I discovered that it was in pretty bad shape. I probably have not used this wok for about 2 years, and it was badly rusted. So I cleaned it all up, and now I'm ready to use it for the first time. In a future video, I'm going to use this wok as an example to demonstrate how to rehabilitate a rusted wok. I'm going to season the wok, use my spot seasoning method, and to demonstrate how well it works, even when you use a wok that has almost no seasoning at all, particularly after I have scrubbed it very thoroughly. If you're not familiar with this method, you can take a look at this video. Basically, I heat up the wok until the oil starts to smoke gently, and I let it to smoke for another 15 seconds, and I am now ready to cook. I start out by frying 4 eggs. I season the egg in advance. As you can see that the egg does not stick to the wok at all. I'm going to fry the egg very lightly before I add the rice, and this in part responds to a comment from one of the viewers. Because he thinks that I fry the egg much too long, and the reason for that is that I like the egg to be more distinct, but in this case the egg is still quite fluid, so when I add the rice, it mixes up with the rice much better, and it actually makes the rice more moist. So as you can see here, the egg actually turned the rice into a slightly golden yellow color. Here I used the hamburger meat masher to break up the fried rice first. I cook my rice both ways, depending on who I am cooking the fried rice for. When I cook the fried rice for my wife, I usually let the egg to fry longer, because my wife would like to have a more distinct taste of the egg. When I use the method that I shown here, the egg tends to mix with the rice. Therefore, you actually do not able to taste the egg very much. The characteristic of this method is that the egg will coat the rice, and it will make the rice more moist. After stirring the egg and the rice together for about 30 to 45 seconds, I next add the vegetables. Next, I add a combination of 3 cups of chopped zucchini and carrots. Now, it is important to chop up the zucchini and the carrot. Number 1 is that it blends better with the rice. Number 2, by chopping them into smaller pieces, they cook much faster. I generally stir fry the carrot and the zucchini in the fried rice for about somewhere between 1 to 2 minutes. This will definitely soften the texture both of the zucchini and the carrot, but it will still give them a slight crunch. However, if I want to blend them better with the rice, then I will stir fry them a little bit longer. There are many ways to season your fried rice, but for this dish, I'm going to season them with a relatively mild flavor. I'm going to start out with about half tablespoon of my basic seasoning mix. And you can learn more about this seasoning mix by taking a look at this video. This seasoning mix is designed to add umami flavor to the dish. And I use it to enhance the natural flavor of the ingredients rather than overwhelming them. And then I will do a taste test to decide whether the flavor will suitable for my diner. I constantly make adjustments in how I flavor my dish, depend on who will be eating the dish. And by knowing their flavor preference, I will continue to make adjustments until I think it about just right. And I call this flavor chasing, which is the most important part of my fast cooking system. Because we love flavor first before we love food. After mixing in the basic seasoning mix with the fried rice, I did another taste test. And I decided for my friend Brian, I probably need to make the dish with a stronger flavor, a little bit more saltier. If the dish is for me, it's probably fine because I don't need much salt. However, for my guests, I'm going to add another half tablespoon of oyster sauce. And for me, flavoring is probably the most important part of cooking. A flavor always starts with the ingredients that you use to cook the dish. And when you use ingredients of high quality, and when you choose the combination of ingredients that is just right, you don't need to add any additional seasoning. Because the natural flavors of the ingredients will help carry the dish. When a dish contains a lot of salt and sugar, it means that itself could not carry the flavor of the dish. And after thoroughly mixing the contents in the wok, I did another taste test. I find taste testing is essential in cooking. It allows you to make fine adjustment of the flavor of the dish. This is also make cooking a lot of fun because you can constantly make improvements. And based on how I think Brian would like this dish, I'm going to make a final touch-up by adding about a half tablespoon of soy sauce. Again, I have learned to tailor the flavoring of my dish specifically to the individuals who I am cooking this dish for. In a few quick mix, the dish is ready. I transferred part of the fried rice to a glass container. The total cook time of this dish is about 7 minutes. So okay, I'm now ready to cook the next dish. This video is an example of the application of my fast cooking system, which is flavor chasing, advanced prepping, stir frying, and template-based cooking. I post a video each day to demonstrate my fast cooking system to help you to make home cooking practical, efficient, creative, and fun. If you want to learn more about my fast cooking system, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. So keep on cooking. I will see you tomorrow.